What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. In life, you have people that move in different ways. And usually the way they move and interact comes from experiences we have been through. For example, if a person is a loner, they might go to work, handle their business. They have no problem chopping it up and talking to others from time to time, but they definitely won't let you get too close. You won't know what they have going on, and their guard will more than likely be up. Probably because at one point in their lives, they rocked with people heavy, was loyal, loved hard, had friends and relationships, and got crossed or betrayed. But others are opposite. They don't move alone. They have friends, don't mind letting people into their lives, going out, being on the scene. You know the type of person that can move into a neighborhood and in 2 days know everybody on the block. Some individuals are just naturally a people's person. They might even also been crossed before, but they forgive and give everybody a fair chance to show who they are. But the thing about life is, the more people you let in and rotate with, the higher the chances of one of them being fake or phony. Most should know by now, a person will smile in your face but secretly be envious of you, really might not even like you for real, but you are probably beneficial to them in their situation. You could be walking around, showing love, being loyal, thinking you have people around you that feel the same way and has your best interests at heart. No one will ever walk up, introduce themselves, and say, I'm such and such. I'm a snake, I got hidden motives, and probably will betray you. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize they have befriended a snake until they strike. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Chicago, Illinois to discuss the case of a man who backdoored his homie while on Instagram Live for everybody to see. Back in 2023, 25-year-old DeAndre Adams was navigating life in the Windy City. Stated to be a laid-back young man with a good personality. Coming from a tight-knit family, it's not clear if DeAndre had kids or not, but he was maintaining a decent life for himself. He had his own apartment in the 1600 block of East 78th Street. The young man didn't need no help supporting himself. He had friends and family all around though, including his homeboy, at the time 24-year-old Edwin Sims. Edwin was a father to a little girl and tried to take a few business classes to get on his feet, but eventually he started trying to make money and get it how he lived in the Chicago streets. But him and DeAndre were locked in. They knew each other's families, would always be together, either at DeAndre's apartment or at his mother's house, just cooling, smoking, having a few drinks, just regular homeboy type of activity. On February 7th, 2023, it was a normal day for DeAndre. He woke up and realized he had to do laundry. And instead of spending money at the local laundromat, he gathered his clothes to go to his mother's house to wash them. He left home about 9 a.m. Once he left the house, he went live on Instagram, just chopping it up with his followers. Soon, him and Edwin would start talking. He asked DeAndre, like, yo, bro, where you at? He told him he was at his mother's house and he could slide through. After the conversation, DeAndre continued his live. As Edwin walked up, the two men decided to go kick back at DeAndre's apartment. So they walked in that direction. Whole time, the live was still going. Once they got into the apartment, they chilled for a minute. Then seconds later, multiple shots went off and DeAndre's phone fell. His followers could hear somebody rumbling through items before reaching down, gun in hand, and ending the live. His peoples was stunned by what they had witnessed, but DeAndre's brother, who was also on the live, called CPD and told them he think his brother was just shot and gave them an address. Another call also came through from a woman in DeAndre's building, saying she heard shots and saw a man running. Police responded to the building to find DeAndre suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to the back of the head and back, in which it seemed like an ambush style attack. The young man would unfortunately be pronounced gone on the scene. Police quickly realized the building had surveillance cameras all around. It showed the man walk to a nearby dumpster and throw 2 cell phones inside. Police retrieved both phones from the dumpster, and through phone records and talking to family, police had a suspect, DeAndre's own right-hand man, Edwin. A few days would go by before police tracked him down to his home. He was arrested with a gun on him, with a switch on it, but the weapon was determined not to be the weapon that took DeAndre's life. When questioned about the homicide of his friend, Edwin claimed he was with DeAndre that day, but he stated when they got to the apartment, another man pulled up, and while in the house, shots went off and he ran out. But with the live video showing who family pointed to as Edwin shooting DeAndre from behind, then reaching down, gun in hand to cut off the live, and surveillance footage from the building, Edwin was charged with first-degree hit and handgun violations, with enhancements for the switch. DeAndre's family was in shock. Somebody he called brother and friend was responsible for taking his life. As the case made its way to court, Edwin's attorney claimed the young man was a devoted father who wanted to one day open his own business, but prosecutors painted a different picture of a man who robbed and took the life of his own friend boldly on social media. Despite the nature of the shooting, Edwin was offered a plea deal to plead out to a lesser charge, a second-degree hit, and all other charges would be dropped, including the gun charge with the switch. And in February of this year, he accepted a plea of 20 years in prison. Rest in peace to DeAndre. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. It was speculation that he was on live that day because he knew he was supposed to link up with Edwin, and he didn't really trust him. So he wanted everybody to know who he was around. And there was also speculation Edwin felt the live was trying to drop their location and get him backdoored. So he shot DeAndre thinking he was setting him up. But I couldn't verify neither one of those stories. At the end of the day, I feel you shouldn't call nobody brother who you don't trust. But obviously, DeAndre trusted Edwin to the point he had him at his mother's house and also at his own apartment. If it was a robbery to shoot your mans on live, whatever DeAndre was supposed to have, he really wanted it. But at the end of the day, only the two of them know what exactly happened. But one is in prison and the other is unfortunately not here to speak on it. Despite that, we do know they considered each other friends. And you would think that word would at least mean I don't have to worry about you snaking me and taking my life. But nowadays, that's not the case. You have so-called friends backdooring each other left and right over petty things. But y'all let me know what y'all think about the situation. And have you yourself ever had to fall back off of a friend because you felt like something wasn't right about them? They was a snake or a threat? Let me know your experiences in the comments. And remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that young man. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. It's another episode of Hood Tales. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.